Bukchon Hanok village is a traditional residential area encompassed by Gyeongbokgung Palace, Changdeokgung Palace and Jongmyo Shrine. The name, which literally translates to North Village, is a town of traditional Korean houses called Hanok. During Chosun, it was residential quarters for Yangban, or the aristocratic class consisting of high-ranking government officials and noblemen of the time. The Hanoks stand side by side densely on the narrow streets of Bukchon. This area offers many hanbok stores to tourists and gives them the chance to experience the village in a similar way to how it was during the Chosun period. The area is also famous for its many photo opportunities, and young people in particular can often be seen on the streets trying to snap an Instagram-worthy shot. The area also has an observatory, which includes admission and a free drink. This location allows tourists to view the rooftops of the Hanok and view the surrounding historical locations.
One of the many places you can visit in the Bukchon Hanok village area is a traditional Korean-style tea house, where you are seated on the floor and served traditional tea inside earthenware bowls. During our visit, the shop owner informed us that many foreigners enjoy visiting the traditional style Korean tea houses because of their architecture and their unique design. This design is known as Hanok, the Korean style house.
Visitors to Bukchon village can take part in various traditional crafting classes at the Bukchon Traditional Craft Center. No reservations are required and class fees range from 5,000 to 15,000 won. Each day offers a different class program and there are many different classes to choose from. Some examples are dyeing handkerchief, making accessories, handicrafting, and hand mirrors. Seoul Nubi was first inspired by the spirit of practicality. It is made by joining two layers of fabric with cotton or hanji strings in between. The fabric is hand-stitched along its string, helping the finished product keep its shape and stay durable. The exquisite beauty of Seoul Nubi makes it a form of art, and it represents the best of Korean textile art, almost like painting. It takes one glance for us to see the naked beauty of hand-stitching in a work of Seoul Nubi. Gold is a symbol of eternity, beauty, and authority from all times. Therefore, gilding clothes nearly means both showing one's elegance and planting hope on every pattern and character. The clothes with gold leaf in Joseon Dynasty reveal the authority of royal family and the ruler's desire for national prosperity through various patterns of gold leaf. The clothes with gold leaf were used only in royal families, and now people enhance the reputation of the class by being used on the most memorable days, such as the wedding day, the first birthday, or one's 60th birthday.
The Baek In-jae House is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, except for January 1st and Mondays. Admission is free and guided tours run 4 times a day. The main gate, raised higher than the adjacent walls, is typical of homes of noble families of the Joseon Dynasty, giving off the sense of refined dignity of a traditional Hanok. Preserving the modern Hanok style well, Baek-in-jae House in Gahongdong, Bukchon, is a representative Hanok of the Japanese occupation period, on 2,460 meters squared of land, offering a sweeping view of Bukchon village. The house is composed of Sarnang-chae, which are men's quarters, An-chae, women's quarters, Byeoldang-chae, which are detached quarters, and a spacious garden. Embracing modern changes while maintaining the beauty of Hanok, Baek-in-jae House is one of the most representative structures in Bukchon village in terms of architectural size and historic value. Built with black pine from the Yalu River area, which was first introduced at the Gyeongsong Exposition in 1907, Baek-in-jae House has many attributes to distinguish it from typical mansions of the same period. First of all, unlike a traditional Hanok, where the women's quarters and men's quarters are distinctly separated, this house has the two connected to each other with a hallway. Thus, without having to walk out of the door, residents can move easily between the quarters. Japanese-style hallways, some rooms with tatami mats, the use of red bricks and a glass window are among the features reflecting conditions at the time of construction. Also, part of the women's quarters was built in a two-storey structure, which was unprecedented in a Hanok of the Chosun period. Built in 1913 by Han Sang-rong, an executive at Hangsong Bank, this house changed hands several times, passing to Hansong Bank, Choi Son-ik, and ultimately to Dr. Baek-in-jae in 1944. When it was under ownership of the bank, it was used as a meeting place and accommodation for members coming from other parts of the country. Choi Son-ik is a figure that left an impressive mark on the history of Korean nationalist journalism. Due to the ondol, the kitchen is a place for both cooking and heating. A large furnace is built for heating and a large cauldron is placed above it for cooking. Ondol originated from words meaning baked stones, hence ondol indicates heating the floors with baked stones. Similar systems are found in northeast China and parts of Mongolia, but they are different as ondol is structured to trap heat with a barrier neck at the entrance of the flue and a pit at the end, thus increasing heating efficiency. Located at the top of Bukchon, this men's quarters was the background of many social functions held by Han Sang-rong, as well as the house's other owners. The women's quarters, where the residents spent most of their time, surrounds the inner courtyard and exemplifies the spacious modern period Hanok of Seoul. quaint Che, which are detached quarters, stands at the highest and innermost point of the property, boasting a striking scenic view overlooking Bukchon. It serves as a relaxation spot for the master of the house. After 1944, Dr. Baekin Jae, the most renowned surgeon of his time, as well as his family, kept ownership of the house. Baek lived in the house with his family until he was abducted by North Korea during the Korean War. He is believed to have been purged by the North Korean regime, but his exact date of death is unknown. His wife, Choi Yong-jin, died in 2011 at the age of 103, and she lived in the house until she passed it on to her son a few years before her death. Recognized for its architectural and historical values, this house was designated in 1977 as Seoul Folklore Cultural Property No. 22.
여기가 대박이고 최근에 이제 피아노를 대청에 나왔다가 너무 좋은 테니까 밤에 들었는데 내가 거기서 있는 동안에 너무 설리고 와서 피아노를 칠 수가 없어서 그냥 조용히 저거를 놓고 그러고 치다가 집에 오게 못 쳤어요. 그렇게 좋아.
When visiting Cheondogyo Central Temple, one is greeted by its bright red bricks with granitic stones ordained with images of the Rose of Sharon. Its interior sports a massive hall, all supported without any pillars. Its Baroque architecture, heavily inspired by German and Austrian influences, is done by Japanese architect Nakamura Yoshihei. The religion, Cheondogyo, literally means religion of the heavenly way. Its origins come from Donghak, or the Eastern Learning Movement. It was modernized into Cheondogyo by incorporating shamanistic practices in 1905 to compete with Catholicism. It would eventually become a mixture of Buddhist, Confucian, and Christian practices with a focus on nationalism and equality. The temple began construction in 1918 and played an important role in gathering and organizing activists, as well as raising funds for the Samuel independence movement, also known as the March 1st movement. These temples and churches would be the main way to disseminate the Proclamation of Independence signed by 33 cultural and religious leaders. The Cheondogyo Central Temple would later become a symbol of Korean unity.
The Sujiksa, or guard quarters, was located beside the main entrance of Yunhyeongun Palace. The current Sujiksa building was rebuilt in 1998 as part of the restoration of the palace. This is where the royal troops would guard the main entrance of the house. Noandong Hall, also known as the man's quarters of Yunhyeongun Palace, which is the main residence of Regent Hyungson. The word Noan stems from the analytics of Confucianism about paying respect to the elderly and helping them feel comfortable. Noandong Hall was built in 1864, in the first year of Emperor Gojon's reign. The T-shaped building has an andol, or Korean floor heating system, and a balcony, or Yeonghwaru. Its overall spatial layout, with solid wooden structures, triple fold windows, sunscreen eaves, and other features show that it was built like the royal palace. Norakdong Hall is the central place of Yunhyeongun Palace. Norakdong Hall is the only building in the house that has decorated column tops, which indicate that it is the central place of the house. The triple fold windows, the ceiling with colored shaped patterns, handrails, and other details show that the building was built like the royal palace. It was in this building that Emperor Gojeong and his wife, Empress Myeongsong, held their wedding ceremony in 1866, in the third year of Emperor Gojeong's reign. Irodong Hall, along with Norakdong Hall, was used as inner quarters of Yunhyeongun Palace. Iro, meaning two elders, is thought to refer to Regent Hyungson and his wife. This building was built in 1869 behind Norandong Hall and Norakdong Hall during the 6th year of Emperor Gojeong's reign. Irondong Hall displays features such as a plain composition, triple fold windows, and sunscreen eaves, which are similar to that of the royal palace. Not featured in this video was the house of Kim Sang-hyun. It was called Yongno-dong. This used to be located behind Irodong Hall and was part of Eunhyeongun Palace. Eunhyeongun Palace also has an exhibition hall of remains. This hall exhibits relics that are related to Eunhyeongun Palace and Regent Hyunsung. This helps visitors understand the status of the palace towards the end of the Joseon period. This hall is divided into 18 sections and displays a miniature model of the palace and a garment used for the royal wedding of Emperor Gojeong and his wife. They also have on display utensils that were used at Eunhyeongun Palace. They are all replicas of the original, which are kept at the Seoul Museum of History.
like it? Delicious. What is it? It's noodle onion carrot chives.